Hola, ¿cómo estás? Wo kommst du aus? Ich komme aus Deutschland. Das war falsch. Ich komme aus deiner Mutters Haus. I don't even know what the fuck. I don't even know. Huh? Hi, everyone. Ignore the fact that I'm in this very, very spacious room. You just ignore what's behind me, okay? Just not important, not even relevant, not even like don't even. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's it. I know exactly what you're thinking. You honestly think I don't? Here, you know what? I can prove it too. Watch this. I'm gonna read the mind of a random viewer real quick. Just give me a second. Jerry, stop thinking about Hoonie Pop. I swear to God, that will turn into an addiction, and you will. The consequences of those thoughts and actions they'll be irreversible. Get off it while you stay. Just get off it while you still. See, what did I tell you? Easily the best mind reader this side of the world. This VR chat. I don't fucking know. I know it's been a while, and I've been preoccupied with other things like alive. Shocker. Oh yeah, shocker. I know. I just haven't had the time to get back on here and just make a really good video, or feel the necessity to even get back on. Oh, by the way, I got a Valve Index. Dude, actually, hold on. Let me show you my fingers. That was the weirdest way I could have conveyed that. Okay, you can't see me, but look at this. Look. Up yours. Honestly, the Index has been one of the coolest investments I've ever made into any piece of tech, next to like a fucking 3D printer, which is the other thing I've been playing around with. I'm not going to show you any of that. You don't deserve to see that. Hold on. And this world's actually kind of annoying me at this point. Let's change the scene real quick. That's better. Holy shit. I didn't. God, the other world was just too loud and chanting and just cult-like in behavior. This isn't the original world that I usually record shit in. This is a different one. It's kind of similar to it. Beyond that fucking thing. I can't find the other one. I lost it. I don't remember the name of it. And plus, look at this thing. It's got a waterfall thing behind me. And this, look up there. Look at this shit. You see that? That's fucking cool. This video, I wanted to take the chance to talk about fandoms and my experience with them. Granted, I've kind of done that in a previous video, but it wasn't fandoms. It was just fan groups on VR chat. So it was kind of restricted to that one specific area, and it didn't go further beyond it. So I'm kind of scrapping an old idea, make it a little bit better, kind of be a bit more, generalized with it. Some fandoms are good, others are. I just thought I would share this with you because it kind of explains and more or less, the cranium behind the noggin. Granted, a lot of what I am now isn't due to, well, I mean, I guess a lot of what I am is due to fandoms and that kind of shit. But like, it just kind of helps you understand where I come from on a lot of shit, and also where my tastes lie. And I know some of you are gonna like non-verbally judge me and just be very quiet about it and go like, this guy's into this shit, he's kind of weird, oh, I don't like his opinion on this shit. First of all, fuck you, Phoenix. I'm beating you to the punch. I know exactly what you're thinking. 2 steps ahead of you. You didn't get that reference, did you? I got it. Full JoJo fans, where you at? But yeah, this entire fucking experience with fandoms is something I really wanted to talk about. And also, I'm kind of lazy, but that's not the only. I'm not entirely lazy. I got a few other video ideas that I have, coming down the pipeline. Some of them still need a bit more preparation, and this is like the free time that I have at this point to actually make these videos. So take what you can get at this point. This is your dosage of Joe that you have not heard in what? Months? Is it months? It's been months, hasn't it? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm non-verbally getting angry. Anywho, let's get on to the video. I have no specific order. I'm just gonna make transitions and you just kind of follow along, okay? Ready? Okay, hold on. I need to do a proper outro real quick. Bro fist. This is the SCPSL fandom. This is the SL map. Yeah. Overall experience with the community as a whole, it's pretty fucking cool. Honestly, it's an experience that's so it's such a goofy ass experience because like the only downside with the SL community, specifically with SCP, is the children in the games. That shit is the most annoying part of SL as a whole, because that's a given with any free game that you have. But beyond that, like, the SL community is like one of the most goofy ass, hive mind-esque. The fact that Secret Lab is even free to begin with is genuinely baffling. Like, that is the most surprising thing about the game. It's just, how the fuck is this kind of game jam-packed with like so much fucking content and shit to do? Beyond that, it's just the game as a whole is pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking explain it here because like that's not the point of this video. Maybe another day. Maybe you'll get that another day. Just be patient. Also, we're in 914's room, and I love this kind of shit. I love this fucking machine. I have no idea what it's gonna do. 1-to-1. Up, here we go. Oh, I'm so excited. What's gonna happen? Yeah, that's cool. Let's try fine. Oh, I'm a twink now, so that's cool. Let's try this one. Let's try very fine, see what happens. Oh, I couldn't agree more with that kind of setting. Let's go back to rough. Oh, rough. Like a dog. I'm sorry, that made absolutely fucking zero sense. I don't know why I said I'm not even a fucking dog. What? there was no logic behind that thought. I'm gonna be real with you. What's another transition that I'll see you in the next not video. See you in the next world.
For every kill you get, I'll give you an ooh.
Alright.
Is death.
Oh yeah, bet you weren't expecting this shit, huh? Yeah, guess where we are. Please guys, please just make this fun for me. It's already miserable that I'm here anyways. Yeah, this is fucking Pearl from Valorant. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. My experience with the fandom, it's interesting. Not great, not terrible. You know, 3.6 drunken. I mean, and here's the thing. I can handle toxic teammates. That's honestly fine in comparison to dealing with either e-couples, people who have forced low voices, which is the most, holy shit, that is insanely cringe. And I cannot, what the fuck, like why? Either you have hit a serious low point in your life that you go on Valorant to hopefully obtain e-pussy, or you think you're winning anyone over with that fake low ass voice. Like, oh my god, fuck. There are times in games where I'm tempted to just fucking dip and just fucking quit the match, abandon it mid-match because either someone's like fucking frothing over a woman in the game and I'm like, oh wow, that's amazing, great, lovely, really something else. And I just get uncomfortable. I'm like, what the fuck? But when you complain every fucking round about how bad our teammates are, how trash they're doing, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, like, don't get me wrong, maybe it's my pea brain that doesn't understand the complexities and intricacies of Valorant tactics and that kind of shit. I may just be dumb, and you know, I'm willing to admit it. I'm not the best at FPS games at all, or in general. But if you have to fucking vocalize every fucking round, not only are you pissing me off, but you're making me and a good chunk of our team lose faith in our ability to do what we need to do, which is get the game over with and hopefully pull out a fucking win. But like in unrated matches and that kind of shit, when we're just having fun and there's no pressure to win, it's a lot better. It goes 10 times smoother than what it should. By the way, just for, you know, for context, I'm a KO main. I love KO. He's very fun to play. Very easy kid. Very linear play style. He's fun. I love KO so much. But yeah, that's my experience with the Valorant fandom. You know, e-couples, people complaining about their teammates, me being brought to the brink of wanting to put a gun in my mouth and pulling the fucking trigger. Could be better, could be worse. We'll get to the worst in a second. I need another transition for this shit.
Principals always look like lesbians.
Sup, fuckers? Class is in session. Today I'm teaching you how not to be a whiny bitch protagonist in 3 easy steps. Number 1, what's step 1? I don't know what step 1 is. I can't remember. Yeah, I love My Hero Academia. I love My Hero Academia. The only difference is I'm not a true fan. I actually bathe. So I know this is like is a My Hero world, and I'm supposed to be like, it was going to be originally about My Hero fans, and it was going to be like the most generic jab at it, which like they smell really bad and they're very weird. And I have seen some pretty traumatic shit because of this fandom. Like, you know, I'm gonna get to that in a second. I'm gonna go into like the 3 prominent ones that I've had the most experience with, and that is My Hero, Attack on Titan, and Dragon Ball Z. Very generic fandoms, but you know, it's experience because I've spent the most time reading the manga and watching the anime adaptations of both of these shows, and it has interesting experiences overall. My Hero, I mean, don't get me wrong, manga, anime adaptation, fucking amazing. Borderline peak anime, I love it to death. But overall, in fandom-wise, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of them that smell really bad. And you don't have to take my word for it. Any questionnaire type of TikTok I've seen when it comes to an anime convention, and them asking who's the smelliest fandom, it's always the My Hero fandom. It's never anything else. It's always the My Hero fandom. And that's like the funniest shit to me. But like, in regards to personal experience with the fandom, You guys know how like dedicated some of the fans are to like, you know, Deku and Bakugo, fucking Bakugo and Todoroki. Holy shit. People are dedicated to those characters with a burning passion. I don't understand why, and it's very unhealthy. Like, I know that there's like the Bieber fever when I was growing up, and that was pretty bad, but this is a whole different level. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I've seen something on TikTok that had made its rounds, and I'm sure it was taken down by now, but it was a video of some girl smearing her blood on an image of Bakugo, and it was just God, no, it's disgusting. I will never forget the image that is implanted into my brain. Never will I ever be able to see that image the same ever again. It's just, or see Bakugo the same ever again after that. It's just, what the fuck? Now onto a more weird fandom, Attack on Titan. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was completely fine and mostly normal until season 4. Season 4, I don't know what the fuck happened, but ever since, you have seen the absolute worst sides of this fandom out of any season before. And like, seasons 1, 2, and 3, it was just like, you know, a silly little story about, succession crisis with family issues and inheriting the founding Titan, and Eren dealing with the Attack Titan and trying to figure out its powers with it, and inevitably finding out about it eventually by accident, blah, 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 blah. But season 4, which takes a whole different turn, about foreign adversaries, ethno-nationalist states, and fascism as a whole being kind of represented in the show with Marley. I don't know what the fuck happened, but like, two incidents. One, it showed how dedicated fans are to loving the ever-living shit out of Deku, out of Eren, and even like aligning themselves or defending his beliefs in the rumbling, which I'm gonna be honest with you, if you believe in that shit, that he did a good thing with that kind of shit, seek help and go outside. Another thing that I will never forgive the fandom for, or this part of the fandom for, was when they fucking harassed the ever-living shit out of the voice actor for Gabi for killing Sasha. What the fuck? Like, I don't get it. Why on earth you found it necessary to harass a voice actor who has literally zero input and like take and influence and sway on anything involving with the plot of Attack on Titan? Like, why? What difference does that make? Boo fucking, like, don't get me wrong, I was devastated when Sasha died, but I don't think, oh yeah, I'm gonna go after the person who was responsible for voicing the adaptation for her. That'll make me feel better. That'll show them. Get dunked on, liberals. But yeah, it's just like, it was fine until season 4. Season 4 just went, oh my god, I don't know what the fuck happened. It's just insane. Dragon Ball Z, I haven't yet to find problems with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, power scaling people and Goku beats everyone, dick riders, that's just that's fine. It's whatever. It's just kind of, it's Dragon Ball. It's just whatever. I mean, I've grown up with Dragon Ball. I grew up on a bit of Dragon Ball. I watched all of Dragon Ball Z, watched all of GT, watched all of Super. I watched all of TFS as well, so I'm kind of a bit of a big fan of the show. And it's like, I mean, beyond the weird ass, irrational lack of touch with reality power scalers, it's a pretty good fandom. I have like literally zero issues, zero problems with the fandom at all. Like, I have yet to find an issue. Oh yeah, this is a comic, by the way. I just wanted something to use my hands with. It's a weird desire. You know, it's like Dragon Ball Z. It's just a Dragon Ball fandom in general. I never really, it's the running gag, but can he beat Goku? I'm like, it's fucking, like, yeah, sure, fine, fuck it. I don't care. Maybe. What difference does it make? By the way, I am pissed at what they did to Gohan. They did him dirty after the Cell arc. I will never forgive the mistreatment of my boy. Fuck, he could have been so much better. He could have been stronger than Goku, arguably. But, you know, I'll die with that. But beyond that, you know, it's just, that's the Dragon Ball fandom. On to the more troublesome parts of fandoms. Trouble, double. Here's a double, make it trouble.
You can make it different.
All right, this time around I got a fucking talking stick, and it's Rose's sword, or Pink Diamond sword, or I don't know what part of the series you're in, but you know, I'm calling it Rose's sword because I don't give a shit. This may come as a surprise to you guys, but I was once actively involved with the Steven Universe fandom. Oddly enough, it was weird. It's kind of strange. To what extent depends on what time you ask me, what time frame. So when the show was originally airing, which is when I watched it, like the series in its entirety, from, you know, season 1 to Steven Universe Future, I watched all of it. But overall, for that kind of shit, like, I loved the series, and I love a lot of the fan art and shit that came out of it. But when I tell you my active involvement with the fandom, it depends on what time you're asking me. When it started to air, I was kind of involved with the fandom up until a very, 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 very big controversy that happened that was pretty fucked up when it came to fan art. And it made me realize what parts of the fandom existed and how I wanted to present myself and more or less what I wanted to align myself with in the future for future fandoms. So if you don't know about this, there was a Tumblr artist. I don't remember their name, and I'm sorry that I don't. I'll post links to the article and all the shit that went down with that story below. It was this Tumblr artist who made fan art of Rose Quartz, and they made her skinnier, and it wasn't out of the intention of fat phobia or any of that kind of shit. It wasn't intent to like belittle or negate or take away any sort of characteristic from the character. It's just how she drew her. You know, and this was during a time to where a good chunk or just part of Tumblr where it had a very, very active group of people who were not afraid to not only harass, but bully the ever-living shit out of anyone they disagreed with. It was pretty fucked, and this was one of their more prominent examples, and more or less what convinced me to kind of become distant with the fandom for a while. What ended up happening is that this massive fucking hate mob, which, also loved Steven Universe, ended up finding this art and did not take it well. They started accusing this artist of a fuck ton of things like fat phobia, xenophobia, racism, whitewashing, a lot of this dumb shit that she was like not clearly trying to convey. What was dumb is that they didn't even attempt to they didn't even attempt to like make a conversation with her and try to like figure out like, hey, did you do this on purpose? Was this accidental? And trying to figure out what she did wrong and what she could do better in the future. But they didn't do that. They said, you know what, fuck it. We're just gonna do a complete and utter harassment campaign of this innocent individual and just defame the good name of the Steven Universe fandom. And this has done almost, well, not irreparable damage, but pretty significant amount of damage to the fandom and its reputation, because a lot of people were very afraid to go back to the Steven Universe fandom after this big ass incident. It was fucked. And to give you an extent as to how fucking significant this shit was and how bad it got to the ears of the creators as well, to where the creators tried stepping in. I think it was one of like the co-producers or co-creators or I don't know, it was co-something. He tried stepping in and tried to like say, hey guys, could you guys lay off? Like people can create what they want, fuck off. And you would think that, the creator of your beloved show would somehow be able to like, kill the fucking hate mob at that point. You think they have some sort of significant impact on the very, very big ass raging fire in front of them. But nope. No. In fact, I think it pissed them off more because they started digging through his shit, and apparently they found shit on this guy and showing his support for Lolicon. It was like, what? That's not where it ends. It got even further to get to Rebecca Sugar, to where she tried intervening, and they clapped back at her and basically referenced, and get this, she made fucking Ed, and Eddie porn. I'm not kidding about that. What? It just unearthed so many hidden secrets about these creators that was fucking insane, that no one had ever thought to have, talk about or dig into in the first place. And it was fucked. And this situation started getting so out of control. It's pretty fucked up, and it's a big reason why I more or less distanced myself with the fandom. Nowadays, specifically on TikTok, it's gotten a lot better. The fandom's kind of healed. People are more positive about shit. I've seen so many posts about, fan infusions, fusion redesigns, fan drawings, all this kind of shit, and it's really fucking sick. I'm glad the fandom is kind of healed to an extent, but just after that incident, during that time, it was fucked up. There's another fandom that I want to talk about that I don't think you'd be expecting at all, because I've had one interaction with this fandom, and it was the most toxic, degenerate, fucked up interaction I probably have seen compared to the previous one that I just did with the Steven Universe fandom. We're gonna talk about the Owl House fandom for a second. Yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming, did ya? Yeah, you didn't see that one coming. Granted, I've never seen a single episode of the Owl House, but I have had one singular interaction or just offshoot interaction with this fandom, and it wasn't directed to me, it was directed to a friend of mine, and holy shit, it was, when you think of the word unjust, it comes nowhere near as to how fucked. It was just a controversy created out of pure, senseless, unbridled, unnecessary, and directionless rage. So for context on this situation, a friend of mine who's a big fan of the Owl House decided to draw, a piece of fan art. And here's the piece of art that they drew. Take a good look at this piece of art. Anything troubling about this piece of art? Anything concerning, aggravating, confusing? Anything that would make you think, or at least scream out to you, bigotry, whitewashing, intentional racism, any of that shit? Does that seem like that's the case to you? Yeah, anyone with a fucking brain and an ounce of common sense would think the exact same thing you're thinking, which it doesn't resemble that in the fucking slightest. Unfortunately, this post on Twitter, this piece of fan art got to the wrong side of the fandom. If you have a general idea as to what these harassment campaigns are, which is just throwing every bigoted insult or every derogatory insult at someone and claiming that there's something that they're not, it was basically that. It was basically saying that the artist was whitewashing, they were racist, they were bigoted. It was just over a palette, a color palette that was brighter, and it happened to make the skin tone a bit brighter. Not to the point where it was deliberate whitewashing, and this is the side of fandoms that I genuinely do not like, and I genuinely have a problem with, because holy fuck, it is fucked up in nature, and I don't know what the fuck to explain. Like, why? Like, get a hobby, go outside or something, please. Like, you're not helping anyone by doing that kind of shit. I just don't understand why you find it necessary to even have that kind of mindset or mentality. Excuse me. But like, it's such a degenerate and fucked up way to think about things. And you're always on the edge of your seat thinking that someone's trying to make some racist post. It's like everyone's a boogeyman. Like, you gotta be more deliberate about it and understand that this wasn't intended to be fucking racist or bigoted or fucked up in any nature. It was just a piece of art, dog. You don't like it, fucking block it or move on. I just don't understand why you have to sit there and pick a fucking fight. Like, why? So fucking dumb. Okay, and on to the next one.
That's why your shoes raggedy. That's why your mama did.
And now for the final fucking words. What am I saying? Final thing. Last. Now for the last fandom I want to talk about, the Has-Been Hotel / Helluva Boss. And why am I so zoomed in? Now, I bet you're wondering, Joe, why on earth are you going after that fandom? Why on earth are you even, like, relatively mentioning it? Do you have some sort of gripe with the fandom at all? Oh, I don't have any gripe with the fandom or the show at all. Actually, no, maybe I do. Is it maybe I have some bone to pick with the series as a whole, and I may or may not be doing a review of it soon-ish. Do I have a problem with the recent episode? Maybe. Do I have an issue with the fact that it was so poorly paced and the jokes were so subpar and just absolute fucking dog shit? Probably. Or maybe it's because that we're missing an entire fucking episode, regardless if it's because of copyright or not. It's becoming an actual detriment to the show as a whole and actually more or less endangering the character development of between Solitz and Blitz, and now it's just like this entire fucking kerfuffle of we have no idea what happened in episode 8, and we don't even know if we get any closure in episode 8, which makes it worry even more, because I actually want to know if we actually have any form of closure in regards to what happened to them and how on earth they were able to recover from episode 7 to seeing such a low point in the relationship to now in episode 2 to where it's like hunky-dory, business as usual, nothing's wrong. Maybe that's an issue I have. Or maybe it's because the Cherubs episode exists, and I will never forgive Vizzy's team for ever even manifesting that, let alone creating that episode. You can hate me for that episode. You can hate me for not liking it. I don't care. I will die with this take. I will die with this opinion. But overall, the experience with the fandom has been pretty alright. I mean, granted, there's parts of it with any fandom where it's just the weird-ass parts. There's definitely the degenerate and creepy sides of the fandom that I genuinely don't like, and I wish would be thrown in a pit of fire. I mean, I know some of them want that because, you know, Helluva Boss takes place in hell, you know, clap it up, fellas. But yeah, you know, it's just like there's parts of the fandom that just are truly degenerate and truly just disgusting. Stelvia shippers, I'm looking right at you, buddy. But overall, like, opinion-wise on this shit, it's just like, it's just another fandom that I'm a part of. Granted, I haven't been very active with it, specifically with some problems with Helluva Boss recently. Helluva Boss is kind of going through a very meh phase with me because it's just, the recent episode wasn't that great. It was very, honest to God, the best take I can give on it, and like the best rating I can give it for the recent episode, which is season 2, episode 3 at the time of this recording, I'd give it a solid mediocre. It was so poorly paced. There were parts in the animation that were very choppy. Jokes were they just flopped. I wasn't a big fan of them, and I would prefer Cherubs over this shit, and that's saying something. But just how it was paced and handled just seemed so rushed and sloppy, honestly. It just seemed so weird and just kind of, oh, let's get it out of the way and just get it over with at this point. But again, I'll get into more depth on that episode in Helluva Boss another day. The fandom as a whole is pretty mild. There are definitely parts of this fandom that are reminiscent of the Steven Universe fandom, which I talked about earlier, and it bugs me because they're very toxic and very, very bitter people who will go after anyone and anyone who even dares criticize their baby boy, perfect child of a show. And that's kind of my biggest problem, and kind of when I'm, coming full circle on with this kind of shit, is that this is a huge, no, not a huge issue, but it's an issue with fandom as a whole, with these very toxic sides of the fandom, which most people ignore because they don't deserve the attention that they think they want to, that they think they'll get, because it's just these fandoms and these parts of them tend to more or less speak the loudest half the time, and it does create problems for people who are trying to outwardly express themselves in their love and I guess their passion for the fandom, and it more or less creates this kind of sense of tension when, you know, you have these very disgusting people who think it's okay to call any and every slight against their fandom bigoted, homophobic, racist, whitewashed, you fucking name it, and it's just any type of phobia or any type of closed-minded, just destructive and fucked up belief, because it's merely different from what they believe, and it's just something that really doesn't sit well with me. And I think it would. I don't shouldn't sit well with any fucking sane human being. But with this specific kind of gripe, it's just it hasn't reached the apex of what it can potentially become, like with Steven Universe and the Owl House and any kind of fandom with that regard. But I can guarantee you this. Mark my words on this. When when Hazbin Hotel starts to air, it's going to ramp up the fandom again, and that part of it is going to gain numbers. It's going to be a group of a numerous kind, and it's going to be very vocal. Mark my fucking words on that shit. Yeah, anywho, that's a whole shebang of fucking fandoms that I've experienced as a whole. It's kind of weird, daunting, and honestly explains a lot of what I am at this point. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Gotta hope you enjoyed the video. My face hurts while wearing this fucking headset sometimes, and I need to figure out a more optimal way of wearing it, because holy shit, I shit you not, it is insanely uncomfortable when I wear it. It feels like, it's like a suction cup. It's like two plungers against my fucking face. I feel like I'm wearing it too tight. I don't fucking know if I am. I probably am, honestly, and I just don't know how to function it properly. When you'll see me again, I don't know, hopefully soon. I got a few more ideas planned for videos. I have time to do it now, so that's cool. Oh, who made it stinky? Oh my god.